Welcome back. Today is March the 22nd, 2020. Josh Jordan gives a sermon entitled, God Dwells with the Lowly.
I know we're all taking precautions, which is great, but it's not a time to live in fear. You know, one thing I know the Lord is speaking to me, it's like really a time to be proactive. I mean, that monitor or something is crazy sounding. Anyhow, I'll just move back a little bit maybe. It's probably the speakers. I'm just hearing myself in the speakers. It sounds weird. Anyhow, it's time to be proactive. And in my life, I'm looking at my life and it's like, wow, I have never been this proactive and seen so much fruit. And this is like the time everybody is shut up in their house, you know. And when I'm home, it's great because I eat popcorn and watch movies. It's great. But I've also been spending a lot of time like praying and being still. And it's really hard because my message tonight is God dwells with the lowly. Isaiah 57:16. I'm going to preach fast, so if you want to read this, you can read it at home, or if you can flip really fast, go ahead. Isaiah 57:16. For this is what the high and exalted one says, He who lives forever, whose name is holy. I live in a high and holy place, but also with the one who is contrite and lowly in spirit, to revive the spirit of the lowly and to revive the hearts of the contrite. So I was praying this week, and I realized when you get still, all this stuff comes up. And you think, I'm not hearing God, because like you might shut your eyes and you know in your imagination it's like, oh yeah, there's that guy. Bam, I popped him. No, okay, I popped him, but then he's going to pop me back. And then he's got to hit me first though, because if they call the police, you know, I need to say this guy hit. I mean, your mind goes through so much stuff where it's like, oh yeah, here's this going on. I'm going to say this, and that person's going to say this. Oh, what am I going to eat tonight? You know, what's in the fridge? And your mind thinks of so many things. And what's happening is everything that's inside of you is coming up, and that's actually part of God's work. You're letting these things come up, and you ask yourself, why am I thinking about hitting this guy? Why am I thinking about, you know, this thing that doesn't matter? Why am I having all these argumentations? You know, why am I thinking about this or that or this? And it's because something inside your soul is unresolved, and that's a part of you that you're not letting it out. It's like you're not letting it express itself. See, David, it's like the lower parts of us. You know, Christ descended into the lower parts of the earth. And King David would say, my heart, why are you so sad? Why are you so upset? And we know, as Jeremiah says, the heart is full of wickedness. Who can understand it? But we also know out of your heart come the well springs of life. And so your heart can be terrible and it can be wonderful. And people are so afraid of their heart. But if you look at King David, when he was about to kill Saul, his heart stopped him and said, my heart smote me, so I could not kill you. In other places, David's heart says, go kill this guy, kill Naboth, kill this guy. And someone had to come reason with him. David, wait a minute. There's no point to doing that. And tonight I'm talking about the lower parts of our own soul, our own heart. You know, why do we have these visions come up? Why do we get angry? Why do we move with compassion? That's part of who we are. Jesus and King David, they're always talking to their heart. But see, they don't condemn their heart. They say, in my heart, why are you so afraid? Why are you so upset? Why are you making me wash my hands 20 times a day so that my skin's cracking because of this coronavirus? Why are you doing this? You can talk. You're supposed to be talking to your heart. So again, when you get still, your heart's going to start talking. You'll see pictures. You'll hear sounds. Whatever the pictures you're seeing in your head, this is something that's going on inside of you. And you need to address it. God, what do I do with this? Or talk to your heart. Look, it's okay that you want to hit this guy. It's okay that whatever. But take it before the Lord. Let the Lord deal with this. Let God work this out in your life. And see, a lot of times we're ashamed of these lower parts of our life. Why do I do this? What's going on in me? And as I prayed, a lot of this came up. And in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, I'm going to read this. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 18 through 27. This is talking about the body of Christ, but it's also talking about our own body and our own soul. On the contrary, start on verse 22. On the contrary, it is much truer that the members of the body which seem to be weaker are necessary, and those members of the body which we deem less honorable, on these we bestow more abundant honor, and our less presentable members become much more presentable. whereas our more presentable members have no need of it. But God has so composed the body, giving more abundant honor to that member which lacked, so that there may be no division in the body, but that the members may have the same care for one another. And it's talking about the body of Christ at large, but it's also talking about yourself. And how many of us, we're proud of part of ourselves. I can say, look at all the work I put in. Look when I stay up that extra hour. I stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning and pray. Wow, look at me, everybody. Look at the work I put in with the research and the coffee and the missions. Look at all that do. But I don't like the other parts of me. I say, what is this other part of me that turns on TV and, my God, am I watching a romance movie? What the heck is wrong with me, man? What is wrong? That must be the devil. That's the devil. What am I doing? Man, am I playing a video game? I'm 39 years old. What is going on with me? Am I having a midlife crisis? What is wrong with me? I'm eating all this popcorn. I start calling myself a fat something. I won't speak up here, but I get so upset. What is in me? This must be the devil. Why am I eating all this ice cream? This isn't good for me. Why am I doing these things? Why am I watching this TV? What good is this? What good is any of this? This shouldn't be part of me. And see, that part of me is something that God has created, like it says in Corinthians. We deem these parts less honorable, and yet God imposes more honor in them. And there's something that my body is trying to speak out to me. Hey, Josh, maybe you need romance in your life. Maybe you need something in your life. Maybe you're avoiding something. Maybe you're avoiding something with even intimacy with God. Maybe you're so put into your work that you don't let yourself play anymore. You don't let yourself have as much adventure. And now I have been good. I let myself off the hook a little more. I find myself watching movies. I find myself doing more. And it's nourishing. Because see, this part of us is dreaming. That's part of our destiny. In 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 34, Elijah has prophesied over this woman, and she's had a baby supernaturally. And then the baby grows up, becomes like a boy, a teenager, and he dies. And so the lady's like, how could you do this? This is worse. Now I have my promise to have this boy, and he's dead. And so Elijah, he doesn't just lay his hand on him. He actually gets his whole body on there. It says he touches his hand to his hand, his eyes to his eyes, his mouth to his mouth. And he's just every single part of his body. And Elisha actually has life inside of his body. And it's showing that each part of the body has a special significance. And this dead kid has a destiny on him. And so Elisha's saying, hey, this thing that is dead, it's not done yet. It needs to be alive. And see, in the same way, it's like there's parts of us that are dead, and we have to give it the warmth of our body. It says in verse 34, 2 Kings chapter 4, and he, Elisha, went up and lay on the child, and put his mouth on his mouth, and his eyes on his eyes, and his hands on his hands, and he stretched himself on him, and the flesh of the child became warm. And so every part of our body should have the life of Christ in it. Remember when Elisha died, somebody was thrown into his grave, and he touched the bones of Elisha, and he came back to life. So Elisha had life in his very own body. And we should look at the parts of us that are dead. What in me has died? What in me has become dormant? I have 3 things in my life right now that are going really good, but I have other aspects of my life. Why am I doing this? There is an upper part and a lower part to us. The upper part being more our intellect, and the lower part of us being our heart. Like Jesus cries out, my soul is tormented unto death. Or my soul, I feel so much compassion. Or David says, I rejoice with my soul. Or my soul is terrified. My soul's like a bird. I wish I could fly away. That might be Forrest Gump. Wish I could fly far, far away, Jenny. But David says something like that. Our soul, we have to talk to our soul. And our soul will talk to us, and this is not bad. If you guys don't think that there's a difference in your own body, look, why do you watch the things you watch? Look on TV. Look at the things you watch. Yeah, I might watch a little romance. I watch sci-fi. Sci-fi, it's like, why am I watching this? Well, maybe I'm trying to break my limits. Maybe there's something in me that's still dreaming that's saying, Josh, you haven't received your destiny yet. Look, they say kids that have like a sulfur deficiency, they'll eat erasers on a pencil. Now, most people in class would make fun of them and say, look at that dork over there. Look at that idiot. He's eating a pencil eraser. He must be stupid. Well, that kid, something inside of him knows I need sulfur. And he's eating something that's given his body sulfur. And so we need to pay attention. Why am I watching the news? Why am I watching this? What is it that what is it that I'm lacking? And see if we can figure out what our heart is trying to speak to us. And God can complete that inside of us. And again, I can say to myself, we consider ourselves, why is there this part of me that wants to do this or that or this? Look, that is just as much a part of you as anything else. And God wants you to be united with that part of your heart. You can say, my soul, you don't need to watch 4 hours of TV a day. But you can also say, my soul, the Lord loves you. He's for you. He's going to complete the destiny that he has for you. So Christ himself descends into these parts of us. And a lot of times we might not understand our soul. It might do something that we don't think is the best. Whether it could be getting angry or whatever. Our soul may communicate with us stuff that we don't like. It might be violent or passionate or who knows. And we may say, this is evil, this is bad. I have to distance myself from this part of my soul. But here's the important thing. The tree of life, we have to let everything inside of us grow up together. Jesus says in Matthew 12:28 through 29, the enemy comes and he sows tares into the wheat field. And the servants come up to Jesus and they say this in Matthew 12. Oh, I did not quote. Okay, you guys can look it up later. It's Matthew 12:28 through 29. I didn't put it down here. But anyhow, what it's saying, they say, Master, shall we take up the seeds? Shall we take up the harvest? And Jesus says, no, don't take it up. Let the two grow together. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to take away the good with the bad. Let them grow together so we can see what's what. And that's the tree of life. See, this part of our soul that's like that lower self, that is God's job to sift the good and the evil. The moment we look at ourselves and say, hey, this is good, or hey, this is evil, then we've come back into that curse of the knowledge of good and evil. We're using the curse to curse ourselves. We're saying, this is bad, I no longer am going to do this, and then we hold on to what we think is good. Well, your good is just as bad as the evil because you're saying, now I know what good and evil is. I don't need Jesus Christ to tell me what it is. And so we say, hey, I like this part of me that works and works and works. That's good. But this other part of me that likes to sit around eating candy bars, that's evil. Or this other part of me that, does whatever, gets mad, that's evil. No, it's not necessarily good or evil. You have to let the two grow together and let Jesus Christ determine what it is. And so my time with the Lord this week has been very good. And it's like I pray and I see this, it's almost this picture of this little boy coming up and he's covered in black and mesh and just nastiness. And it's like, God, this must be the devil. What is this? What is this? And he keeps saying, Josh, that's not the devil. That's part of yourself. But you call it bad, bad, bad because you only had the law to feed it on. And when you're feeding yourself on the law, it's going to kill you. That's the ministry of the law, is death. But with Christ, he's the one that gives life. And he's the one that separates the good from the evil. And so when we come to this lower part of our soul, we have that picture of Jesus on Golgotha, on the cross. And he's between two thieves. And these thieves, that's the tare and the wheat. Look, they're at the last second of their life. They have no more life left. This is it. They're sitting up here like this right next to Jesus, and they know they're going to die pretty soon. And even at that, one of them still recuses Jesus. And the other one says, yes, this is the Messiah. He's done nothing wrong. And Jesus says, you will be with me in paradise. But see, it's Jesus Christ that gives the final word. It's him that separates. The best we can do, the best of our knowledge, and say, hey, this part of me is wonderful, or this part of me is bad, that is still the knowledge of good and evil, because we cannot be God without the Holy Spirit. And so we have to let everything that's inside of us grow up. We have to accept the things in ourselves that are chaotic, that don't make sense, that are passionate, that do whatever. We might call ourselves stupid, idiot, evil. We could call ourselves many things, and we've probably been called many things. But we have to let that tree grow up inside of us and be nurtured by the love of God. And don't say, hey, this is bad, this is good. No, Jesus says all things are lawful, but not all things are profitable. I've ate plenty of popcorn this week. I don't know that it's profitable, and my weight room is closed. But Jesus separates the good from the evil. On the cross, he says, look, this guy right here, he's going up. The other one, going downtown. And that's Jesus' job. Because if we try to say it, guess what? We're going to condemn people. We're going to abort somebody's destiny. We're going to abort our own destinies. Jesus Christ will wait till that is nurtured in you. It grows. It becomes strong. And it's so tempting. You know, because it says, if your eye makes you stumble, cast it out. If your hand makes you stumble, cut it off. I don't see any Popeyes in here or people with hooks. So I guess you guys didn't take that literally, thank God. But to enter into the kingdom. Look, when you've entered into the kingdom of God, Jesus came to heal. I mean, he didn't come to cut stuff off of your body. He came to heal you up. And so you can trust him. Hey, I am going to let the Lord Jesus Christ nurture my soul. I am not going to judge myself. My best intention, my best knowledge I have of my own soul, my own heart, if it wants to do something crazy, I'm not going to judge it. Now I'm not going to let my heart do whatever it wants and say, hey, I'm just going to go run down the street naked. Not that I want to do that, but maybe somebody here wants to. But I'm not just going to let a heart do what it wants. I'm going to give it rules, but I'm going to say I'm not going to judge my heart. I am not going to judge my heart because I want to sit up and watch some TV. You know, again, I can think, what's the point of this? You know, some guy, when I was a kid in youth group, he was walking back and forth and marching. He's saying, where in the Bible does it say have fun? And I was like, man, he must have not never had fun. He looked miserable. And nobody could come up with an answer because they're like, da, 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 da. I mean, today I could say, you know, I mean, Solomon says, you know, enjoy your youth, enjoy, you know, there's a time to rejoice. I mean, you know, Jesus laid back with his disciples. But, you know, people don't understand why do we do these things? So, guys, that's my challenge this week. Let the Lord really be the one that deciphers in you what's right, what's good, what's evil. But you have to feed yourself on his love. Look, there's a lot of fear, especially with the virus coming out. And I know there's ways to take care of ourselves, but there's also a lot of fear. And we need to let God really walk us through this. And we need to look at ourselves and say, hey, this is a time to reflect. This is a time to see what's really going on inside of me. Why do I want to do this thing? Why do I keep having these dreams? Why do I get so frustrated? Why do I keep, what do I keep fighting inside of myself? Look, if you're tensed up inside, if you're fighting yourself, you're not receiving Jesus Christ's love, because when you receive love, he is going to nurture that part of your soul. What does it say? The Father of lights, whose sins reign on the righteous and the unrighteous. Look, even if there are things in your soul that aren't good, you need to receive that reign, because as it grows up, you're going to see what's good and what's not good. But there's a lot of part of you that God wants to deal. And I'm going to finish with this. I was praying, I said, Lord, I want to be part of your counsel. And he said, Josh, I want to be part of your counsel. But why haven't you been waiting on me? And I realized, man, my mind goes so fast that I don't sit there and wait for Jesus to speak to me. And why do I do that? And so I started waiting and waiting. And that's when all this weird stuff came up. I'm like, man, what is this thing inside of me? I just feel like something's evil, something's wrong. And God said, yeah, that's the part of you where I'm dwelling in, but you keep calling it bad. And I've been trying to have a relationship with this part of you for years, and you're still fighting it. Yep. So I'm getting tired of fighting, guys. I'm 39, not old, but I've been fighting it for a long time, and I've realized Jesus doesn't want me fighting myself. He wants me walking in Jesus doesn't want any of us fighting ourselves. Look, all you guys have dreams in here. All you guys have visions. But remember, Jesus descended into the lower parts of the earth. He was hung between two thieves. Listen to your heart when it's speaking to you. Whatever your heart's speaking to you, listen to it. Because he's trying to love a part of you that you're trying to fight. You might say, no, I just want the Lord to love my good. Well, look, your good isn't anything. Our righteousness is as filthy rags to him. But there is a part of you where he dwells. And like he says in Isaiah 57, he dwells with the lowest. Look, when we can admit, hey, something's not right, that's good. You got to get the bad out. Hey, say, you know what, Lord, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm even upset with you. Why have you done this? And yet, don't forget to finish it. But God, I know you're good. God, I know at the end of the day, you're going to cause a resolution. But you have to get that out. David always got his fears out. He always got his anger out. He got everything out. And that's how God could clean him up and use him. But you got to get that sound out. God, I'm dealing with so much stuff. But Lord, I know that you're good. I know you're going to work this for my good. You've got to get that sound out of your heart. Because again, God dwells in that low part of you. The part of you that you think is disgusting and filthy and repulsive and good for nothing. Look, God is there with you. He's wanting to use those parts of you that look the nastiest. And when you allow him into the lowest part of your soul, that is the very base of you. That's where you can really find that foundation of love. Because that he who is forgiven much loves much. The part of you that feels nastiest, look, that's the part of you that's going to be the greatest lover. Just like his greatest warriors were prostitutes. His greatest warriors were dirty people. And he took them and he loved them. And people said, why are you hanging with these sinners? And, you know, his answer was, I love these people. You know, I didn't come to call the righteous. I came to call the sick. And when you can admit, hey, you know what? Something's wrong. I'm sick. I got something in me that's sick. That's when Jesus can come in and love you. And that's what he wants to do for you guys tonight and throughout this week. Guys, have a wonderful week. Be blessed. And I'm going to say a prayer for y'all. Father, thank you for this night and just for loving us, God. Lord, let that tree of life grow up inside of us, God. Let that tree of life grow up inside of us. And Lord, I just repent for any place in me that I fought. And for everyone in here, God, we just repent for places in us that we've been fighting and we haven't let your love inside of us. If that's your heart tonight, guys, and you want to let the Lord inside of this part of you, into your lowest part of you, lift your hand up. All right. Father, for everyone in here that lifted up their hands, we just ask that your spirit would go so deep in them. And God, they would know your love in the deepest parts, God, in those deepest parts of their heart. We ask this, Father, in your holy name, Jesus. Amen.